All right.
Zoom chat feature may be used for questions and comments that contribute to the Commission's procedures, and if it's used otherwise, may be disabled at the Chair's discretion. Public comment period will follow each hearing. The Commission encourages attendees to ask questions and offer comments during the public comment period. Chuck Tirone, Commission Chair, will facilitate tonight's meeting. Each vote taken during this meeting will be conducted via roll call vote, and we start with an agenda review and attendance. It's over to you to do that, Chuck.
Sure. Thanks, David. It's 7:03, and today is March 19th, 2006. So we have administrative review, 2 sets of minutes, correspondence received. We have a discussion item 434 Dudley, our updates from our liaisons, including a native plant update on the bylaw, and just a liaison's report. I skipped over one, which is we're going to do a support letter for restricting the use of rodenticides. It's a House bill. And then when we get through that, we'll get into our one and only hearing for 10 Cottage Ave. And so we'll have our attendance now. So Mike Gildersgame.
Present.
And Nathaniel Stevens. I think Nathaniel said yes. And Susan Chapnick.
Yep.
And David White.
Yes.
And David Kaplan let us know that he's not going to attend tonight's meeting. And Brian McBride. And I believe Brian said yes. I see him on the screen. And Chuck Tirone says yes. Our associate members are Sarah L. Farrow-Franco.
Present.
And Eileen Coleman.
Here.
Great. So we're gonna move into our first item, but before we do that, I wanted to open tonight's hearing by acknowledging that we will soon be losing one of our longtime members, and to express my gratitude for their service. Nathaniel has been part of the Arlington Conservation Commission for 26 years. And even though we have he's made us aware that he's going to leave a couple months ago, that's Susan, David, and I, it still feels significant and kind of like a graduation where you anticipate the end, but when it gets there, it's very significant. And that's where I find myself at this moment. So I want to say thank you to Nathaniel for your steady perspective, dedication, and wisdom you've brought to the Conservation Commission over the years. It has truly been a pleasure to serve alongside of you. Nathaniel, would you like to speak directly to the Conservation Commission?
Nathaniel, we can't hear you. I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
Still can't hear you.
Still,
Oh, now I can hear you.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thanks. Sorry, the headset's not working. Inopportune time. Thank you, Chuck, for those kind words. And it was a hard decision, but after 26 years, I think it's, as Chuck says so well, it's time to graduate. I don't know to what.
What?
Like
Retirement.
commission and things, but thank you for those kind words. It is, yeah, it was a hard decision to make, and it's been a pleasure to have served with all of you on the commission. And I'm leaving, and I feel that the commission's in a good place and a strong commission, so it makes it a bit easier to leave. But thank you all, and thanks Chuck for the kind words, and well put. It is a momentous for me as well after all these years, as you might be able to imagine. But I've learned a lot from all of you, continue to learn a lot, and I'll be around, happy to help out behind the scenes, and or if you need me to come to a contentious meeting or something, if I'm available, I'm happy to do that as well. But yeah, thank you all for the kind words. Appreciate it. It's been great working with you.
Maybe a party for Nathaniel at a brewery.
Oh, I know a brewery.
Yeah, we all do,
Yeah,
huh?
do you? Yes, you might.
That's a great
Yeah,
idea.
that's
That'd be great to
great.
see.
Yeah, and Nathaniel,
Thank
I
you.
will say, I mean, you've been my mentor since I've been on the commission. And I've learned so much from your manner, from your fairness, your depth of experience, and your willingness to always help out. And I really, truly appreciate your leadership.
Thank
Thank you.
you, Susan. Thanks. It's been great working with you, and everyone is, as always.
Mhm.
All right. Anyone else want to? We'll
And
do this thing.
when
I'm
is
sure
your
there's
when
going to
is your
be
final day? Are you staying until we find a
I'm.
replacement, or what if we
Oh,
can't? Like I know
yeah.
that's kind of
I'll
nebulous.
stay on. I do have some travel plans for the summer, so it will be weaving in and out through then. But hopefully you'll find someone soon.
Mhm.
But yeah, I did plan, and as we approach the summer, I realized that it's going to be harder for them to recruit someone over the summer. So that's one reason I sent the
That's a
letter
good
when I
time.
did.
Yeah.
It's like it's approaching. As soon as those warm days came last week, I was like, oh yeah, it's not going to be winter forever,
I know.
and
Oh,
things.
yeah,
So
summer. It's going to be fun to not think about having to schedule around the Conservation Commission meetings.
yes, for sure.
Right.
So,
And
but
so,
anyways,
well,
certainly through early May,
okay,
I block things off, but.
okay,
I do have travel late May and early June for sure.
great.
Yeah.
Okay.
But and I'll keep you
Yeah.
guys posted on that too.
Great, because I know you've been instrumental in helping us on the reg changes, which we're working on, in the background.
Yes.
So we
Yep.
wanted to get those kind of
Still
done.
stuff to do.
Yeah. And I know you wouldn't drop that ball anyway. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
You'd take it,
No,
you'd take it over the finish line there.
Wait,
Yeah.
Susan's going.
within reason. It
Getting the list,
can't go on
getting
for
the
two
list
years.
going. Well, like she
Yeah.
didn't give you we didn't give her the key to your shackles to this
Yeah,
Conservation
exactly.
Commission.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
hopefully it
so I
won't
guess
take
we,
2 years to review the regs again.
yeah. All right. Well, before we get off the subject, I want to say we all know a lot about Nathaniel, but one thing you all don't know is that Nathaniel is to blame. And what I mean by that is when I first got on the commission, I was a lonely boy working for MACC. But it was Nathaniel Stevens that I don't even know if I was here a year and a half maybe. He gave me a recommendation to Boxford, along with
Mhm.
Ken Pruitt and Michelle Gerard. And that started this train rolling. And I appreciate that, and I'll never forget it because it was a flyer. You took a flyer on me, but here I am so many years later working for a few towns and kind of know some stuff at this point. So I
Yes,
appreciate it. And,
sure.
you know, you can tell everyone when I don't know, at some point that there's one or two people out there that you really influence. So really appreciate it. You're to blame.
Thanks.
And
I
I
would
can
say the
tell a
blame.
similar
Blame. Happy
story.
to do it, and glad it
Yeah.
turned out well. So thanks.
Okay, let's move on to the minutes and do that. So we have minutes for February 19th, 2026. And so these are the ones we held up at our last meeting because I wanted to make some changes. And David Kaplan's not here, but I think it's okay. And when we get to that spot, I'll explain.
Let's see, this is the version that's on Drive, Chuck. So this is the one that you had requested editing permissions to. It was in this
Yeah, I hope it's
section.
all in there. I see that the bottom part seems to be familiar.
Scrolling through to see which section was it again.
Arlington Coal Number.
That's what I thought, but where is it? Yeah. Are these the edits then?
Yeah. Let me just read a little bit of it. Yes, these look like my edits coming in through here. And so some important section was missed. I just wanted to make sure that when I was saying that, I started out by saying, we don't discount wetlands and it's important and it's not Article 97, so it's not going to be allowed. And that's more what I said. What really helps out is what's been happening with we've been given the recording and the draft minutes to review the last couple of weeks, so makes it a little bit easier. And so moving down, the consultant said that he was putting in the infiltration system. It was not required by the town. They were doing that to prevent some flooding.
Right, thanks, Chuck. There were just some minor edits, I believe, in the rest. A note about when the 4042 Forest Street issue will come back, which we expect will just be dealt with administratively. Some clarification on the escrow funds for 34 Dudley. Discussed the water bodies. David White, is there anything that we want to underscore about the annual report here?
Now available on the website.
Right, that's true. I don't think there's anything in the minutes we need to correct there. I think this is getting down to the last of it. We held these hearings jointly. Big clarification here from Susan. Do you want to elaborate on this one? It's just a rewording based on decision that the threshold for sort of a extent or number of invasives was not really feasible, so she corrected that language. And that is the end of it. Do you want to review both, Chuck, and vote on them
Yeah,
together? Okay.
we've done that before. So let's do that.
All right, so here are minutes from March 5th. Dominic Rinaldi's title there. Some clarifying language from Nathaniel, especially on the Sims Woods topic. Right, and this was the new business section. It's relatively new for us. We discussed Mount Gilboa presentation there, and this was a very early meeting, so nothing else to review.
Great. If everyone's okay with this, any comments or motions on both sets of minutes for February 19th and March 5th?
Motion to
26.
approve.
That was Nathaniel Stevens
I'll second.
and David White. So Mike Gildersleeve,
Yes.
Susan Chapnick,
Yes.
Brian McBride,
Yes.
Nathaniel Stevens,
Yes.
David White,
Yes.
and Chuck Teroni says yes. Okay. Moving right along, David, also to correspondence. So correspondence received is available at the public for a full list. Contact the conservation agent. And if you're having trouble, reach out to David and he'll help you find out where we put the correspondence for not only our agenda items, but also Thorndike Place. So that's always available. And moving on from there, I see that there's a discussion item for the 34 Dudley Street. Is that ready for tonight, David Morgan?
No, we haven't received materials from VHB. We're waiting on the as-built for the infiltration system. Just haven't
And,
received them yet, so we'll hold off.
and there was an and, right? We're waiting for some stormwater reports to say that they've been servicing that stormwater system once it went online.
Yeah, I need to
So-
follow up with Eric Girard.
It needs to be in
VHB about
place
that.
for sure. Okay. Moving right along. So our next on this on the agenda is a letter of support for a House bill, an act restricting the use of rodenticides in the environment. David, you want to give us a quick summary of that? I think we're just saying yes, we're going to throw our support behind this bill.
Yep, this is a request. Actually, I'm going to share my screen so you can see the language while we're talking about it. There we go. This is in support of H 965. It's also in the Senate at S 2721. And this is put forward by Laura Kiesel of Save Arlington Wildlife as a request to the commission to endorse the legislation that's there in front of the legislature currently. And you can see here, this is the description of what the bill would do, which would stop allowing the use of anticoagulant rodenticides, make them unavailable for consumer use, so on and so forth. There's some language there about the harms, benefits of integrated pest management, and if we were to support this effort, we would add language about the town policy, for example, prohibiting the use of SCARs on town property, and any other sort of local details, including our own regulations, for example, that we restrict their use in resource areas. Pretty simple request, and they're looking for an up or down vote on the matter.
Dave, can I
comments?
speak? Oh, sorry.
Sure, go ahead, Susan.
Thank you, Chuck. I support this. I don't support sending this letter. This letter is really long. There is another letter she also sent. This Laura Kiesel asked us to look at this. There's another letter she also sent that is a 2-pager from the Lincoln Conservation Commission, how they expressed their support, which I prefer. It's simpler, doesn't have all the history, because the history isn't really ours. This isn't what we've discovered or found. But I think it is important to support this and simply say that the town of Arlington, under our Conservation Commission, has consistently banned the use of any rodenticides and pesticides in resource areas as a special condition in our permits. So, that gives force to this. And we come from a town that already has banned SCARs. So I would prefer a simplified letter. I'd be happy to work on it with you, David and Chuck. And the town of Lincoln, I think Laura forwarded a simplified letter as well. So that's my opinion.
I'd be in favor of that.
I would as well. That makes a lot of
Me
sense.
too.
All right, can I get a motion on approving Susan's substitute motion to use the Lincoln letter modified for Arlington's purposes?
So moved.
Second,
And second, Mike Gillisgame. Susan Chapnick,
Yes.
David White,
Yes.
Brian McBride,
Yes.
Mike Gillisgame,
yes.
Nathaniel Stevens,
Yes.
and Chuck Cerrone says yes. All right. All right.
Thanks.
Now we're into our updates. The first update on my list is a native plant bylaw update. I believe that's David Morgan.
Yeah, so I had planned on presenting on this as a bylaw, but things changed earlier this week, and we're withdrawing the bylaw. The town manager would like to enact the same scope basically as town policy instead, and the reason for that is that it conflicts with the Town Manager Act, which could be an overcomable thing, but there are some other concerns about it. I mean, we wouldn't want, for example, it to get to the AG's desk at the end of the year when it eventually arrives there and have them say, but what about your Town Manager Act? Doesn't your town manager have say over public lands, and isn't this in conflict with that? So for that and many other reasons, I think it's wise that we retool this as a policy. And so after town meeting, I plan on working with our town manager to accomplish that. Relatedly, I was going over our regulations update today and think that we can crib from a lot of the language that would have gone into this bylaw for use in definitions and so forth for things in jurisdictional areas, sort of refining the approach that we take in the Concom jurisdiction. So just wanted to share the bit of news that although it is on the warrant, we're going to be withdrawing and retooling it as policy. So a couple of months from now, we'll embark on that, and I'll keep you updated as it develops.
I'm sorry, David, I missed which warrant article was this? What number?
Not sure of the numbers. Native plant bylaw. It was one of the first ones listed on the warrant, so it shouldn't be too hard to find.
Thanks.
Sure.
All set? Okay.
Yeah, your articles are better.
Yeah, to save you a little time, David.
Yeah, there were a lot on that.
Thanks, David. Yeah.
It's number 9, yeah.
Thanks.
Number 9?
Yeah. Okay, moving on, we have the Water Bodies Working Group, and that's David White.
I have nothing new. David, anything new from you?
Nothing new, no. I guess we did secure the Spy Pond Park bank restoration contract, then. That's about it.
Good.
Okay, we're going to move on to the liaison report from the Tree Committee, and that would be Sarah Alfaro Franco.
Okay,
No, I
so,
skipped one, but I'll get back to it.
all right.
Yeah.
The tree committee met last Wednesday, February 11th. The committee focused on 3 main areas. One was the warrant article that the committee is going to be presenting, and they worked on it. The article was presented to the select board and received favorable action. In addition, the second thing that was discussed was the upcoming tree planting. The tree warden reported a plan to plant 150 trees in the spring, approximately 9 to 12 trees in Mount Pleasant Cemetery, and about 20 trees in the Heights area. The tree warden mentioned that there is a national grid project on Lake Street, which will require the removal of 2 to 3 trees, but there is some replanting expected and planned. The second thing that the committee discussed and focused on was improving community tree programs and communication. They discussed the community canopy, which offers subsidized tree planting program, and they're looking to expand that from 60 to possibly 80 trees. And they're also looking for discuss strategies to strengthen the tree adoption and watering process. So one of the things they discussed was adding watering commitment when individuals request, do a tree request a tree, and they also are going to be automatically enrolling participants with reminders, notifications. That's about it.
Any questions? Susan.
I just have, so I was looking over the articles. There's a lot of warrant articles, as we said. And it looks like the tree committee has two articles. One's Article 14, bylaw amendment for the tree committee rules and procedures, and the other one is tree preservation and protection. Were both of them discussed?
I actually, I'm going to did I see?
I think I might attend. There's going to be David White knows about this, and I think David Morgan. There's going to be from the Sustainability Committee a discussion of certain articles that have to do with
Environmental.
sustainability and climate change. When is that, David? Do you
Oh,
know?
there's Susan Stamps.
Oh,
Okay.
Susan Stamps is raising her hand, so she
Thank you. I
might
was
know
just
about
looking
them.
for you. Thank you, because I think I knew the answer, but go ahead.
Right,
Okay, I
Susan.
just didn't understand
Hi.
what they were. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Um,
You might want to do name and address for the record.
Susan Stamps, 39 Grafton Street, member of the tree committee. And I have a new laptop and for some reason I look pink, so I don't know. But this warrant article is submitted by someone who's not on the tree committee. And what they want to do is a version of what we've been discussing for the last few years, but we haven't gotten sufficient buy-in from the tree warden to do it. And that is for the first time regulating cutting of trees in development inside the setback of the property. Currently, the tree bylaw, the protected trees under the current tree bylaw are within the setback. 6 inches or more and healthy. Those are protected trees. So when a developer wants to remove any of those, they have to pay a lot of money into the trees please fund, which the tree warden uses to plant other trees in town, especially in the area. This proponent is proposing that trees of a DBH width of 10 inches or more in the main area of the property be included as protected trees under the tree bylaw. We considered something like that, but we don't. I mean, if you want me to go into how we feel about it, I can.
No, I just didn't understand.
that's what it
So
is.
it,
Yeah.
it makes sense now. That's not from the tree
Not
committee,
yours.
and the
Right.
other one is from the tree committee. And yeah, thank you for explaining
You're
that.
welcome.
Thank
right.
you, Susan, because I had not heard that one.
All right. Are we up to date with the tree liaison report? Seeing yes. Okay, great. So I'm going to move. I'm going to just go to the CPA liaison report, and that's Brian McBride.
Yeah, thanks, Chuck. There's nothing really new. The proposal is making its way around to the select board and town manager and so forth. And I guess the next big event will be the town meeting, whether they ratify the CPA proposal or not. And it's expected that will happen, but that will be the next big activity.
Okay. Next on the list is any update from Sims conservation restriction.
So are there any
Sims.
controversial items on the CPA proposal this year?
For me, there was. I didn't like the big Emma's Court building on Mass Ave. I thought it was very bulky and didn't have much setback. So I put forward some objections, asking for some setback and more trees and so forth. But I only got 3 votes out of the 7 or 8. So, um, I don't think, David, anything else was really very controversial. I guess one of the things that David and I faced was that we did scale back some of the habitat related requests we could have made, and David is pursuing other paths for those items. So maybe we get some, I tried to make this point, maybe we get some credit for next year that, hey, we were fiscally responsible when you had, $1 million or $2 million over requests last year. So this should be the year where we get some, compensation if folks remember and accept that argument.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next one. That's Sims Hospital with Nathaniel Stevens.
Thanks. No update since our last meeting. Or we have a meeting
I
next
said
week.
Sims Hospital again,
Yes,
sorry.
yes, you did.
Sims
Sims Conservation.
Yeah.
Sims Hospital Conservation. Yeah. Former Sims Hospital site. Yep. Hopefully have more to report at the next meeting, at our next meeting.
All right, looking like there's just an administrator's report. So David, I don't know if you have one, but if you do, could you let us know, like the final on the budget request that we have? Did that get into the warrant, and are we just looking for a town meeting vote?
Yes, Water Bodies Working Group appropriation is filed. I'm going to meet with Recreation in the morning, so I'd hope to have an update for you after last week. Meet on Fridays, so it'll happen this week instead. Nothing otherwise.
Yeah, hold on, David White. I gotta add something because I wanted the update on I think we asked for $2,000 for our budget we just started. How is that? And are we just looking for a town meeting vote on that?
So it would have gone into the operations budget when the request was made. So
It's Article 73, just to help out appropriation committees and commissions. It's kind of a general article to appropriate sums of money, and the sums are not listed, but the Conservation Commission is in the list,
it is. Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
which we weren't
Right.
always in the list. So that I was very pleased to see that.
They didn't waste their money on that stamp sending it to Susan's address, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I went through it with a fine-tooth comb because I said, we gotta get in there one of these years. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, somehow
No,
the
that's
news missed
great.
me, to be
I'm
honest.
very
but
happy
Thank you,
it got
Susan.
in. Yeah, I'm very happy that got in, and it's something that we can build on. It's a building block right there. Did you have anything else to add, David White? David White, yeah.
What about the fishing line matter? Anything to put in that?
They are reconvening the fishing line working group, and it's one of the topics I'll discuss with Natasha tomorrow. There's some correspondence about that announcement that they are, well, this was actually correspondence with regard to the questions that we had put to the town. This is a memo that Natasha wrote to the town manager. And I've lost the train. They are reconvening the working group. There's an open call now for members, and as soon as they reach a quorum, I'm sure they'll be convening the first meeting. So if you know anybody who's interested, forward them the open commission or committee listings page on the town website.
Yeah, obviously it would be great to get someone from the Conservation Commission. I'm always going to say Susan Chapnick, but if anyone else wants to get on there, that would be great.
I'm not sure I'm the right person for that with Park and Rec, because it was an adversarial relationship when I was against them on artificial turf, and I may not be the right voice in the mix because I don't want them to have their hackles up when they see me, So it might be somebody who
Razor
maybe is
feathers.
more neutral, you
Well,
know.
I always say, I mean, I did the same thing with the turf fields, and
Mhm,
so you know a lot about it. I mean, I think that I'm either going to stop you from being in the front end if you never get into the back end of these things.
mhm,
So maybe you want to not say anything at this point and think about it. And I believe it's a bonding opportunity.
mhm,
Okay?
mhm.
And so everyone can think about it, and maybe Susan will step up and, you know, we'll see. But
I,
yeah, it would be great. I think that we would obviously want to have some eyes and ears there to just let us know what's going on. And so there you go. Open call for people to join fishing line working group.
Chuck, I think I'm sort of in the same boat, perhaps not as close to sinking as Susan, but I think that there was some significant disagreement when I was on that turf committee as well, so I may want to back off. Although if you think it's a good bonding experience, I might reconsider.
No, it's a good bonding experience for Susan.
Yeah.
Probably for you too. I think mending, I don't know. I
Hmm.
think that they're just going to feel that way no matter what until they get used to the questions, and the questions are just coming from honesty. This is how conservation approaches these issues,
Right.
and it's unlike getting it from residents or people that are involved in sports and others. But I do think that it's a good learning experience for us and them. And Susan would be great, only because I know that she's been at the start of this. So,
Or maybe some for the reservoir committee too. Maybe we can find somebody in the reservoir committee too.
Yeah, that might be great. Somebody from a reservoir and or Spy Pond,
Yes,
mhm.
the Spy Pond Committee,
yes,
because those are the ones that do the cleanup at Spy
exactly.
Pond.
Yes.
So it would be really good to have the actual people who do it on boots on the ground so that they know how much waste is there. I don't do
Yeah.
that.
So I'll ask Brad.
Yeah.
I'll ask Brad about that.
Yeah, ask him if there's somebody there that might be willing to do that. I think that would be excellent, David. And I'm
All
not
right,
sure if
David.
Laura Kiesel is willing to do this because there's a lot of history.
Oh
The
yes,
previous
yes.
the previous fishing line working group dissolved made recommendations and they went nowhere. So those people who are very invested in it were really turned off by the town. And I don't know if they're going to do it again. So it'd be interesting to understand that too, if Laura Kiesel is going to step up or not.
Hmm.
Yeah. But that
Well,
remains
I
to be
don't think
seen.
that's
We'll
how
see
it
what
works.
happens.
I think you find
See
out
what
after
happens.
they pick the group. Um, so David, are you throwing your name in, or are you just giving Susan
I'm
an
not.
out?
I'm going to try Brad first. See, wait for that group. I'm not quite thrown in yet, but maybe.
Hmm. All right, let's keep it open. I'll look into it.
Brian,
I'll
did you
look
raise
into it
your
to find out what
hand?
the requirements are. And Brian,
Volunteering, Brian.
A new item. I'm not volunteering. I did Hills Hill for a year. I'm done. Um,
Done
it's
with
a
Park and
different
Rec. I
topic.
know. I get you.
That
all
was
right, so
hard.
let's not linger too much on this. Got a good thing going. We all know we need to look. Brian, did you have something additional?
Yeah, it was just adjacent to what we were talking about. Elaine Crowder had put forward a warrant article to try to get some language in the bylaws regarding vandalism of natural habitat in PRC properties. There's laws in there now about breaking equipment and so forth, and there's a reprimand and a fine. There's nothing about, cutting a tree down or digging a hole or what have you. So she brought that before PRC. They decided not to take any action on it, which I think was disappointing to Elaine, but who knows, maybe the article will still pass. Just FYI.
Last word on this is that I think David is going to set up a fishing line cleanup at Hills Pond. We talked about before the leaves bud, so I don't want to forget about that. So that's David Morgan. So we're looking for more action on that. I don't know when we should
I think your
start
friends at Spy
bringing it
Pond
up every
Park are
meeting,
interested in
but
that.
that's certainly something that was discussed. Okay. moving on, we're into our hearings. So we have a DEP file number 910377. Notice of intent for 10 Cottage Ave, continued from March 5th. And the Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing to consider the notice of intent for the construction of an addition to a single-family home. Areas proposed to be altered include riverfront associated with Alewife Brook. And I know that I saw Nicole, I can't see her now, but I saw Nicole somewhere. There she is. Nicole Ferrara
Yes.
is
Hi, good
here.
evening, commission
Yeah, and
members. Oh, go ahead, Chuck.
I was just going to say, take it away, Nicole. Just introduce yourself for the record.
Great, thank you. Good evening, commission members. Nicole Ferrara from LEC Environmental. I'm just going to share my screen here on behalf of the applicants and owners who are also in the audience, Michelle and Alton Gulen. It was a pleasure meeting some of the commission members out at the site last week. But for those who weren't able to attend, I'll just quickly familiarize you with the site. It's in the southeastern part of town, just west of Alewife Brook Parkway and Alewife Brook. You can see we have a single family dwelling that's surrounded by lawn and landscaping. Here's our existing conditions plan. We have the existing dwelling where my cursor is here. We have a paved driveway that extends to a detached garage. There's a concrete walkway that extends to the rear of the dwelling. And then there is a small wooden deck with stairs and then a concrete patio area within the existing lawn area. And then there's a kind of border of some landscaping around the perimeter of the property, as well as a fence. In terms of resource areas, LEC was out in June of 2025 to delineate the bank to Alewife Brook. It actually occurs within a concrete bank, and that is off the page a little bit here. In blue, we have the top of bank, and then the 100-foot riverfront area and the 200-foot riverfront area are also in blue. You can see the majority of the site is within that riverfront area. In terms of proposed work, the applicants are looking to demolish the northern portion of the existing dwelling and construct an addition off the rear and then this kind of eastern side here. A first floor deck is going to be installed underneath a portion of the addition. And then we have some steps proposed to a patio that is kind of within the footprint of this walkway and landscaped area. You can see that the footprint of the addition includes a portion of the existing structure that's going to be demolished along with that existing wooden deck, concrete patio, some landscaped areas, and then a corner is in this lawn. And then the work isn't going to be located any closer to the brook. You can see the existing garage is 159.7 feet to the bank. And then the proposed addition is going to be 168.8 feet. And the patio is roughly 162.5 feet away. For mitigation measures, we have our erosion control that's going to be installed around the limit of work. It'll be a 12-inch compost filter tube to protect, the adjacent properties and the brook. We're also going to be reducing the impervious surface on the site or the impervious area. This concrete that is hatched in diagonal lines is going to be removed and restored with perennial plants and shrubs. And then this small portion of the existing concrete walkway is going to be removed and restored as lawn so that there's a, nice access way to the rest of the lawn in the back. We have prepared a planting plan, which I'll pull up. So to mitigate for the work, we're going to enhance 321 square feet of riverfront area by installing native shrubs as well as perennial plants within the backyard and the front yard up here. So again, that's that area with the concrete and then these two side areas in the backyard. We specified a minimum of 5 native shrubs and 15 native perennials with no landscape cultivars. We put that right on the plan. Overall, the restoration area is intended to improve the functions and values and provide a pretty commiserate amount of mitigation with the size and scope of the project. I'm going to go back to the site plans and then happy to turn it back to the commission with any questions.
Sure. I'm going to start out with the questions. And David Morgan, I was wondering if you could just, and just for a second, put up the plan that I sent around, and that would be helpful for everybody when I'm reading this. So I reached out to LEC and Nicole, and then later on I talked to Rich Kirby and Nicole this afternoon about this project. And I was concerned about my understanding of how the riverfront works when it's redevelopment. And I understand that there's a reduction here, and but I don't believe that that's how this process works. And to simply reduce the amount of riverfront of degraded area is not what they're asking for in 10585. I have this whole thing written up, but what it gets down to is my reading of 1058E, which asks that if you're over 10%, which they are by a significant amount, then they have to mitigate in F or G, so restoration or mitigation. So there's several areas around the site where they're proposing this addition that are non-disturbed, and they'll come up here. And I wanted those added up and written about in F and E, saying that there's 125 square feet of non-degraded area, and that they will be complying with the regulations by doing their mitigation at over 2 to 1. So this is where the conversation was about, because it seemed pretty simple to me that we have undisturbed areas, and you would add those up, and you would have to do mitigation at 2 to 1, and you would meet the standards for E, and then you would skip F and go right to G for mitigation. Rich felt like you look at this in the entire riverfront and the entire impervious area, and then as long as there's a reduction, you've met the standards of all of them. And we talked back and forth, and I don't know where the commission goes, but I wasn't able to agree with what they did. So what we've decided to do is to move forward, depending on what goes on here tonight, and maybe we'll put in a condition that says that they've met the standards of A through E and G with more than 2 to 1 mitigation. So I don't know if anyone has any questions about that, but I'm sure me and Nicole could answer if anyone had any questions. I did not read what I prepared. It's more detailed, but I'm sure a lot of people know the riverfront. So I'm going to go with Nathaniel first, because I expect to understand what Nathaniel knows about 585. So go ahead, Dan.
Thanks. Actually, I wasn't prepared to speak on that. I was just going to ask if you guys took photos from at the visit last week, and if you could show those.
Absolutely, they're on the
That would
server,
help me.
to be honest with you.
But I guess just saying that, yeah, my understanding is that when you have a lot like this, where parts of it are meet the standard for previously developed, i.e., it's impervious surface absence of topsoil, junkyards, or abandoned dumping grounds, then that part's, falls under 10.58. But if you have not other parts that aren't, then you've got to meet the other standards. But
Are you
I
saying
just
584?
584, but I'm also remembering that DEP's gone back and forth on this over the years. So honestly, I'd have to look at and see what the cases
Yeah,
say.
you have to read through it. I think
Yeah.
that there's clearly some areas, but it doesn't distinguish between having, so we went through that. If you
Okay.
had a house and had lawn and then proposed your addition on the lawn area, is it 584? Well, it's not, because if you
Yeah.
read through that
Yeah.
standard, it's redevelopment, and you still need to go through it. And we're not going to do that
Right.
tonight because
Right.
I don't want to make this longer than it has to be.
Yeah, and lawn, as we know, is not previously
It's non-degraded, yeah.
non-degraded. Okay, so on that, but anyways, no, I think if I understood your approach, it seemed to be okay, but I would just want to see photos. Thanks.
But the whole
Okay,
idea with
thanks.
my approach is that you have to overcome each one of the items, A, B, C, D, and E.
Right.
And then if you're under 10%, you stop at E. If you're under 10% and you're only
10%
degrading
of the
up to 10%,
yeah
10% of
yeah
the riverfront area, and you're
right.
degrading up to that 10%, you stop at E. If you need to
Hmm.
go over it with additional, and so what's confusing here is they're already over it by a lot. So what you have is kind of grandfathered. That impervious surface over the 10% is grandfathered. But inside of that impervious area are pockets of non-degraded. And I wanted those to be counted for and handled through E and then G by doing 2-to-1 mitigation. This came in meeting those standards from the start. It was basically a paperwork discussion. And I think both me and Rich decided that it would be great when we have more time to continue that discussion.
Sure. Yeah, and just remember, it is the proposed work cannot exceed 10%, right? It's not, you're not looking at the existing.
No, you
No,
are.
you are, you think?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
You're looking at the existing. You're looking at
Cannot exceed the
everything.
10%. Okay, right. Okay, proposed work. Oh, including expansion of existing structures. Yep, should be located. Oh, I'm sorry.
So you're looking at
Degrade
everything. So
area.
if they start out over 10%,
Well, it
you
says
don't
the
have to
area.
mitigate for that.
Okay, it says the area of proposed work shall not exceed the amount of degraded area. So do we do that?
We are not exceeding, this is
But
Nicole, sorry, we are not
Yep,
exceeding
see
the,
that. Okay, that amount.
well, you can't grab it in bits and pieces.
Provided that the proposed work may alter up to 10% if the degraded areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
So that word provided is
Yeah.
a continual, or provided acts as a conditional term, okay?
Yes. Yeah.
So you need to meet these other standards. That's what I was saying to
Yeah. Got it.
LEC earlier. So
Yeah.
provided
Okay. I got
that
it. Yep.
you're under 10% and you only go to 10%, or if you're over 10%, you have to F or G,
Yes.
mitigation
Yep.
F, restoration F 1-to-1, mitigation
On site.
G
Yep.
2-to-1.
Right.
And so for where the addition's going, there are pockets of non-disturbed area which need to be, because they're over 10%. This is my,
Yeah.
hey, I
Yep.
have all the power. I'm on the commission. I have a vote. So that's how it goes. But this is my understanding after so many Arlington riverfront projects.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so we have non-disturbed. If this was completely on top of a, um, impervious surface, and there were pockets of non-degraded elsewhere, that didn't matter. That wouldn't matter because they're keeping what they have. They're not adding to
Right.
it.
It's because it's mixed in. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
if I may jump in super
Sure.
quick, I don't want to go down any rabbit holes or anything like that, because I feel like we kind of had an understanding during our phone call. LEC has interpreted the riverfront area performance standards differently, so I just want to state that based on the work is largely within the degraded riverfront area. And the overall reduction in the degraded riverfront area, we don't believe that we need to demonstrate or provide mitigation in accordance with FRG. But if the commission wants to make a finding that we meet the intent of 1058G based on the mitigation we are proposing, I'm sure our client would be just fine with that.
Sure, yeah, and that's where we ended up in the phone call. But if I wouldn't have agreed to that if I thought the commission was up on the riverfront standards, because I think they stand up for themselves, and we would be able. This is not the application to bother with. This is just so easy. I mean, I liked going through the process and being able to talk to Rich and the back and forth. That was all great. But the next one that comes in, maybe if there's more disturbance, and this comes up again, we're really going to have to have a talk. And I believe we have an email out to Alicia Galen,
Jim. Okay.
and I'm not sure she's going to answer it, because their typical stance is they respond after the commission makes a determination.
She was
So-
also away for a week or so recently, so I think she's behind emails
Right,
as well. So compounding.
That was a lot. Took a lot of time, but I'm going to go right to Susan Chapnick now.
Thanks, Chuck. I don't have, I can see both sides of this, and I haven't thought very deeply about that issue in interpretation of the regs, so I'm not going to weigh in on that. I will follow your direction, especially since it looks like they do greater than 2-to-1 anyway, so it's not going to negatively affect the project. However, I did have some questions because I wasn't at the site visit. If you could if Nicole, you could put back that the site plan. I just had a few questions, and they might be, I'm sorry that I wasn't at the site visit, so they're probably easily answerable. What is that concrete pad that's there? Yeah.
Yeah, great question. That is a patio.
Okay, and that's going to remain
It is.
as impervious? Okay.
Yep, it's within the existing lawn area in the back here.
No, I hear you. I was just curious because obviously that's an opportunity within Riverfront to do something, but I'm just asking. And then your planting plan, it includes shrubs and perennials, but no trees because you have trees already. Is that what I'm seeing back there?
Yeah, there are quite a few trees. The site is limited on space. We do have some photos, but smaller growing shrubs would do best in this area, given what's already
Okay.
there.
And what are the trees that are existing? Do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head, except I remember there's a river birch, there's a magnolia in the corner. I believe there might be some arborvitaes, and maybe another landscape tree or two.
Okay, I was just wondering if there were natives. I mean, most of the river birches are natives, but I was just hoping for one or two native trees, whether they were already existed or they could fit in. But because of course, to enhance habitat, we look for all the levels, as you know. But I understand if you feel you can't fit them in, though I was hoping that maybe somebody was looking at that, the quality of the trees that are there for the habitat.
So there wasn't much of a yard. I mean, it's a third of the lot.
Okay.
But I thought we had some pictures showing the backyard kind of pointing in that direction. If they might be on the server, I didn't take any because Jackie was taking a few.
Okay.
And it, yeah, as you can see, there is like around the edges, there were some trees, and as you can see that there, and they're not proposing to take. Well, we did have a question. Those shrubs, they must be moving right there, or are they going to be incorporated into the planting plan, Nicole?
The
Which are
vegetation here is going to remain
Mhm.
because the addition is actually within that footprint of or mostly within the footprint of the concrete patio in the back there.
Sure, I was thinking of the work that included taking up the piece of concrete there. Would that disturb those? But it sounds like you're not planning on it.
Yeah, shouldn't disturb them. They're not very large shrubs back there.
So Susan, no trees of substantial size, and it looks like we couldn't look into the neighbor's yard, but you saw the list of plantings. If you're satisfied with that, let us know.
I can go back to the native shrubs list here. You do have quite a variety.
I feel I always miss some former commissioners who were landscape people, and I am not. So I don't feel like I can comment any further other than, you know, I understand habitat is different levels and trees and shrubs and, perennials
Yeah.
down below, and that if there are sufficient trees that are native, um, and they're being protected, that sounds okay to me.
So I believe LEC is proposing mitigation, which is not restoration. So
Mhm.
I feel like if we weren't recreating three levels,
It's okay.
it's kind of what they anticipated doing by
Got it.
putting bigger plants or a bigger planting area.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions from the commission? Seeing none. Any questions from, I don't know if anyone's here, I can't see, but I'll just go through it. Anyone here attending tonight's meeting have any questions about 10, 10 Cottage Ave? Okay. You can use the raise hand function. Like I said, I don't know if it's there or not. Or just raise your hand and we'll get to you. Seeing none. Okay, so any further comments from the commission or motions? Or motion to close first.
Motion to close the hearing.
Nathaniel Stevens, second.
I'll second that.
Mike Gildersleeve. Susan Chapnick,
Yes.
David White,
Yes.
Brian McBride,
Yes.
Nathaniel Stevens,
Yes.
Mike Gildersleeve,
Yes.
and Chuck Teroni says yes. All right, so we're closed. Let's talk about conditions. So we just want to mention that we have a 3-year survivability on all the planting. 100%, you don't have any trees, but 100% on the trees, 80% on the shrubs. Anything for the succulents under that, Susan? You seem to be the expert on that. If they're just doing like greenery and
I don't think there's
No.
any more, other than, they have to be natives and these are conditions in perpetuity. The mitigation areas are in perpetuity. We usually write that down. And
Any
then our
other-
other standard conditions, which I think LEC is pretty aware of.
Okay, so while we were out there on site, we would like you to move the footing that was there and that the garbage barrel holder that's in the ground.
Yep.
And then there was a comment about rerouting the downspout so so that it discharges into the backyard and if that could happen, it would cause less erosion. Mike, do you remember, Mike Gildersleeve, do you remember anything else we talked about out there?
I think those were the main ones. I don't think we had too many specific comments.
Anything from you, Brian
No,
McBride?
just the downspout was one I was remember.
Okay. And so the only other thing is I wanted to put in this condition to approve, it's been approved 310 CMR 10.585 A through E plus G, the applicant meets or surpasses the jurisdictional threshold for 2-to-1 mitigation, therefore meeting the standards.
Chuck, may I suggest that we put that in findings rather than as a condition?
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine with me.
Mhm. David Morgan, did you get those? Because I don't know that you were on the site visit.
We'll have
Or
to.
did Jackie get it?
He's
Whoever's
relying
writing
on
it.
Jackie.
Yeah, I got it.
Whoever's writing it?
Jackie's
Jackie.
writing it down, so
Yeah.
Relying
yes,
on
thank you.
Jackie. David's
Because
just-
I didn't know about the downspouts, so that's good to understand. And then there was something else you wanted moved, which I wasn't aware of either.
Yeah, I mean, those things that I mentioned are obviously going to get out of the way anyways because they're almost in the way of the excavation.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to mention it for good measure. All right, I think that's what we have. So are there any motions, any further comments or motions?
Motion to approve the project under the act and the bylaw with the conditions as discussed.
Have a second?
Second.
That's Mike Gilderscame. Susan Chapnick
Yes.
and David White
Yes.
and Brian McBride
Yes.
and Mike Gilderscame,
Yes.
Nathaniel Stevens,
Yes.
and Chuck Terrell says yes.
Great. Thank you,
Okay.
commission members.
All right, Nicole, thanks for
Thanks,
all your
Nicole.
patience and the extra effort on the phone call this afternoon.
Yeah,
Much
no,
appreciated.
appreciate your time. Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye. Bye now.
I was just going to ask about, Chuck, you mentioned that there was something in the ground that looked like a garbage,
Yeah.
garbage
You ever see
holder?
those old garbage
Yeah, it
circular
looks,
things with a lid on it?
yeah, like
The
a,
big farms.
yeah, I was going to say, I have one at my house too,
I have one too.
under trail. Yeah, supposedly you'd put your scraps in it, right? Meat scraps
Yeah.
and
With food scraps.
food scraps, and then people would
Compost.
Take them to the feed pig farm.
yeah, someone would take it to the pig farm and
Oh.
throw it away. I think that was happening in the 50s and 60s, maybe
Maybe earlier, anyway.
earlier 40s. Yeah, my house is built in 36, 37, so after that. But anyways, yeah,
No
I have
one
a
dared to
restaurant.
open up the lid, but
Good idea.
There's a
just
bucket
kind
there
of left
too.
it there.
Just some trivia.
Yeah, that's great. No, that was it. All right, so at this point, we're at the end of the meeting. We have an open forum. If anyone wants to say anything, who's attending tonight's meeting, please raise your hand. We'll allow that. You can turn
Okay,
your
good night.
camera on also.
I think Mike has his hand up, or is he saying goodbye?
Just a quick question. We talked about Mount Gilboa. I don't know if there's anything new that's come about since our last discussion.
No, that's going to be, no, there's nothing new.
Nothing
And we have to move that conversation forward. I guess it starts
Discuss
at
what
the
to do.
prep meeting. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So Susan, we got to remember to talk about that at the prep meeting.
Brian has his hand up, or is he waving to say
No,
goodbye?
He wants to go. So does David White.
An
It's
old
like he's
project.
cutting me off.
Have
All
we
right.
heard anything from the state on the Muger Woods thing? It's been a while now. Have they communicated with us at all?
Well, there's an
No.
update at the last meeting about the floodplain, but
Oh.
outside of that,
Oh, right,
And
right. I
then-
saw that.
yeah, the state
Is
just
this an
said thank
unusual
you.
period of time for them to ponder something like this?
Not at all.
Oh, okay.
And they may be, I can't remember if have they gone through MIPA? Does anyone know? Massachusetts Environmental Policy Act. I don't know if
Oh.
if anyone attended the site visit, the DEP analyst may have
I don't think they
mentioned
mentioned
something about that.
MIPA,
Okay.
but I don't remember.
Strictly Wetlands Protection Act discussion.
It does seem to be taking a while.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
is de novo, and I know
It's a
that some
complex
people didn't
project.
understand what that meant, which means that DEP has to look at everything that we gave
Look at,
them
oh,
anew.
Wow.
You know, they're not, yeah.
Because it was like
So-
in the fall, right? We met at the site.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
So
did
that's
we
not
It was
vote?
a
shocking.
year ago,
Yeah,
no.
it was.
Did
It
we
was a
vote
year
it?
ago, the fall. It's over a
Yeah,
year,
not
right?
Is it?
fall.
Oh, wow.
No, it's a year and a
a
half.
long
now.
time.
When
That's
did
been a
we
long-
when did we vote? When did we not vote?
Oh, maybe it was a year ago.
That was I think that was May 2025, right?
It was.
Oh, maybe
Yeah,
it
I
was.
was here.
I'm off
It
a
was.
year,
Looking at it
sorry.
recently.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It was.
You're right. So it's not even a year that they've been
Oh, not so long.
looking at it.
So it's not
Yeah.
surprising, Nathaniel, that they would take
No.
that long. Okay,
No, not a project this size.
great. Thanks.
Any estimates, Nathaniel? Is it a
I'll get my
2 year?
crystal ball.
Guesstimates?
That's what I'll
Could it
do in
go
retirement
2 years?
is I'll do predictions. Yeah.
Could it go 2 years?
A
Did
betting
your
market.
resignation letter say you're going to stay on until DEP answers? And then...
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
So,
yeah. That along with like coming over and doing all your yard work weekly. Yeah, that's right. That was there, Chuck. Yeah.
we'll work on that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good
yeah.
idea.
Good luck with that thought.
We didn't, it's the only other thing, Chuck, I don't want to make this longer, but we didn't mention the issue that you and I and David Morgan discussed about that piece of property that somebody wants to buy, which is a warrant article.
Reed Street?
Yeah, Reed Street. I don't know if you want like give a 1 sentence update on that,
So-
if people hear about it.
Why
Yeah.
does Reed Street sound familiar? David White.
It's a property at the end of Reed Street, next to Lowell Street, I think.
So there's an Article 37.
Yeah. So wait a minute.
And-
I want to set this up, Susan,
Yeah,
just
go
so you
ahead.
know, everyone knows where you're coming from.
Mhm.
So 2 weeks ago, Susan says to me, Chuck, the meetings are getting really long, and we got to do something about these long meetings. And she wanted to change around the agenda. And then I said, no, we're not changing around the agenda because everyone who speaks at the beginning is, responsible for how long it goes at the end. And I said, the one way to make sure the agenda works correctly and we get out of here on time is to stop bringing up things that are not on the agenda. And with that, Susan,
Whoa.
I'm going to turn the floor over to you.
So I've
Because
already
can we
been
really even
admonished.
think about it if you're just going to like throw it out there? Maybe
But
we
this
should
is,
so
put it
late,
on the
really,
the
isn't
agenda.
it?
this is the open discussion. Isn't this the new item, open discussion?
You have to,
item,
you
and
have
we're
to
early.
sign
We're-
out
We're
and then
not
come
even
back on as a
8:30.
resident.
Got a point.
I wouldn't have said it if we're 10 o'clock at night. But it's just because if commissioners get questions about this, especially since it's a warrant article, I don't think they should be in the dark.
Good idea.
Well,
So is it
when's town
Conservation
meeting
Commission
start?
land? Is it Concom
No.
land?
No, it's a paper street that they want to stop being a paper street, and they want
Yeah,
to
abandon.
abandon it, and they want to expand
Discontinue.
their property so they have enough room for buildable.
Mm.
And Susan, I want you to talk because I don't want to. Go ahead,
2
Susan.
sentences.
So Chuck and I and David looked at this property, and almost the entire property is within the aura. A lot of it is within the aura to BVW. And there is an intermittent stream on one side. And if we have a 50-foot no build in our aura, they would, and then there's a 10-foot setback. Is it a 10-foot setback from the street?
Probably 20.
Or is it 20? They
20
wouldn't
from
have room
10
to put a
cents.
house there. Based on, just looking on paper on GIS, obviously that's not hasn't been delineated, but just looking at the GIS, there's no room to put a house there. Looks like an unbuildable lot based
They should
on
know that.
our. Well,
Yeah, so
they would ask for a variance, and I
from the
think they would
Conservation Commission.
trying to take the temperature of the commission through discussions with David about whether the commission would provide a variance for
Who
this.
knows?
As many years I've been on the commission, we've never done something like that.
We
But
don't have a variance process, from what I know.
well, we
sorry.
do in
We
our
do, it's discretionary.
Yeah.
I've written to the proponent of this warrant article numerous
Oh.
times, and I have said, this is not a buildable lot. It is
Oh, good.
not gonna happen under the act or the bylaw, period. And now I have, as of
David,
this
can you put it
morning-
up on the screen share so we know
Sure.
what lot you're talking about?
Matter of fact, I'll show you from the memo that
Okay,
I
thanks.
issued to town manager this morning, because he inquired, it's going in front of the select board on Monday for their vote, and give me 1 second to open.
And I'm sorry, so this is someone, they're not adding this to their existing lot, this
No,
is
they
someone
are.
who, oh, they are,
They
okay.
bought the pie-shaped lot, and they want to add the paper street lot to it.
They want the town to sell this extra lot to them, which is adjacent to a little sliver that they own.
It's already not buildable. Okay, right.
And it's down by McLennan.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they
Right.
own that little triangle,
Oh,
Oh, that's
and
it?
they want the
Okay.
lot next to it on the left,
Oh, I see. Right.
which is the town-owned Paper Street.
oh,
And
that's
what
the
you
extension of
can't
the street
probably see is there's
perpendicular.
a stream on the screen right.
Right there,
Yeah.
just next to the,
Yeah, okay.
between the lot lines.
So that kind of cuts off a lot of the lot, and then the wetland in the back, even if it's not exactly in that spot, cuts off a lot of the rest. And as
Wow.
Susan says, what we have in our regulation is a 50-foot no build zone. And if you look at it under that lens, that's not even doable. What's there is not doable. What's not screen left, that open space to the street and back up to wherever the 50-foot line is probably the only thing that's doable. It's just that I'm going to call it the setback, the side yard setback, which they haven't highlighted in red. When we measured it out, that's the only thing that would be left with a compromise on our regulations using the 50-foot
Yeah.
build zone,
That
not
this
even
this
the 100-foot aura.
red area is developable if the 50-foot waiver is granted. It's about a 700 square foot footprint, and you cannot fit a structure. Well, let me back this up, because I'm going to talk about the zoning implications here. The combined two lots are under 6,000 square feet,
Oh,
and then it's in the R1 zone. You need to be at or above 6,000 square feet to put a single family dwelling on the lot. So, strike one. If you get past Concom with a waiver, the setbacks and the 25-foot no disturb zone bring you to this red rectangle. Like I said, that's 700 square feet. You can't fit all the things that you need to fit for a single family home in that little rectangle.
Or it's a tiny home.
Yeah, maybe,
Not
but
even. Yeah.
Right, but
still
it's
need a
not clear where the
driveway.
50-foot is, David. Could you just put your cursor where the 50-foot is? It's like 3/4 of the way through that house. Right.
Yeah, it's almost to this corner, as a matter of
Right.
fact, like that.
Right.
There
So you
is-
you don't see the scale
Oh,
here.
wow.
50 feet
Okay,
from
yeah.
BVW's at the front of that.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks,
Yeah.
Susan. Yeah, that's
It
helpful.
comes
Yeah.
literally to the setback. The 50-foot from the river comes to the setback on this edge of the property. 50 feet from there comes to where I demarcated, basically the front setback. So
What
it's
stream is
almost
that?
like neatly aligned.
It's just a tributary. It's not the one that comes out of the detention basin
Oh,
at McClellan Park. It's up the street.
Is that it's an intermittent stream, but I don't know if it has a name. David White might know.
I don't know.
It's not
It's
huge.
coming out of a storm drain. I mean, so it may have a name.
Yeah, I don't know.
It seems to be
So we're on the north
Hopeful.
side of the park, right?
so if it's
And
coming
it
out
goes
of
out the other side of the BVW, so
well, I don't know if we know where it comes from. So if it's coming
Yeah.
out of a wetland, hey, great. If it's coming off the street, it's not jurisdictional until you
right, I know. So,
Right,
we haven't figured all that out either, but
But-
yeah. Anyway, okay. I didn't want to belabor that too
Thanks.
much, but if it comes up because it's in
Good
town
to
meeting,
know.
I
Yeah.
wanted people to know. Okay.
No, that was good, Susan.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Good use
Thank
of the
you.
open forum.
Yeah,
I'm done.
You did it tonight. Thank
Maybe
you.
the
Okay.
select board will go against it.
You vote against it, David.
I mean, select board.
Select
Was
board,
that-
I don't think is going to support it, but
It's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Select board doesn't support, then it's not going to go.
mhm.
All right, are we ready? I want you to
We're
know that
good.
Bruins are on.
All right.
motion to
Adjourn?
adjourn.
Motion to adjourn? All in
Okay.
favor?
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Well,
Thanks,
Unanimous.
everyone.
Thanks.
Good night.
8:30
Bye
yet.
now.
Good night.
Take care.
Take care.